Yes, the confirmation is in. We're going to show you that today, as well as the Ripple XRP valuation. And boom, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase sucker punches Mr. Gary Gensler next on OG Crypto and NFTs. Welcome, everyone. My name is Troy, and Monday through Friday, we go over the latest news in cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, and NFTs, non-fungible tokens. But before we jump into it, helps my channel out a lot. Please hit that subscribe button and then do me a big favor, because we're going in a crypto bull market and we are getting confirmed today. Hit that like button for me. Thank you very much. Let's see the confirmation. Bring it on, baby. Jimmy Cramer, tell us we're going in a crypto bull market.
Because unlike the banks, these crypto assets all seem to be scams, and I want you out of them. Many of you traffic in them every day. You should. You're wrong. Because unlike the banks, these crypto assets all seem to be scams, and I want you out of them. Many of you traffic in them every day. You should. You're wrong.
Wow! Crypto is about to bull run. The biggest confirmation of all time. Jim Cramer, who cannot get out of his own way, continues to make calls that are so terrible. Guys, there is nothing better than the Cramer Index, the inverse Cramer Index. It is the best. Thank you, Jimmy, for confirming it, getting all the retail of all your dumbasses that listen to you out. Wow, we're going to see institutions flood in as Gary Gensler is getting pinned hard back on what's going on. So let's move on. Now, Emi and Troy came out on Twitter today, and this was months and months of evaluations with Jimmy Valley and actually quite a lot of other people in and outside of crypto on what the XRP valuation model comparison. So thank you very much, Molly Elmore. I met you at the XRP Las Vegas. And down here, as she goes over all these tweets, she comes up with a comprehensive approach to determining fair value. So here it is right here. Pretty cool little magazine pages you can turn. There's 5 different models in here. You can go over it yourself. I know that as there's an adoption of Ripple XRP in the XRPL, the ledger, and more things, get put on it. There's building on it like crazy. Companies, CBD countries, banks, CBDCs, tokenization as it piles on in one of the oldest and most reliable and most secure blockchain of any blockchain. We are seeing the adoption going crazy here. And you can read through this, but go check out Molly Elmore and her value and all her discussion, as well as explanation of how they came to this dollar amount. At least, we keep flipping the pages. There's one right here. Oops, that's valuation 1, model 2, model 3, model 4. Now, some of these numbers are kind of crazy. When they're talking about a company being in the trillions and then quadrillions, and that's how much the effect that's going to happen on our financial system. There's no question our financial system is going to be shook to the core, shook out. There's no question about it. The adoption is happening on a daily basis. The only thing holding us back is a regulator here in the United States holding back all the financial system, all his buddies, because they're just about ready to get run over and they can't make as much money because they're not the ones that built out the blockchain and distributed ledger technology. They didn't build it out. They're focused on the proof of making money through the model of feeing you to death and then using your money and making gains off of your money by actually putting in treasuries or other assets. And now they're unable to do a lot of those things. So the changing world order has happened, and this is talking about that changing world order and how it's going to affect, us on a daily basis, as well as some of the prices of the top blockchains. All right, Metal Lawman, thank you very much for putting this out. Great guy, love him, part of the XRP community, an army. He found this, and this is very interesting. When Gary Gensler back in 2021, he was confirmed by the Senate and the House of Representatives. Of course he was, because they were all blue team and he's on the blue team, right? So he got confirmed. And he put out a video here right before he approved the Coinbase IPO. So imagine this. This is what he's saying prior to the Coinbase IPO, and he makes the argument of why he approved it. So this makes the argument. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Gary G, 2021 after confirmation.
I do think that working with Congress, and I think it's only Congress that could really address it, it'd be good to consider, if you would ask my thoughts, to consider whether to bring greater investor protection to the crypto exchanges. And I think if that were to be the case, because right now the exchanges trading in these crypto assets do not have a regulatory framework, either at the SEC or our sister agency, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, that could instill greater confidence. Right now, there's not a market regulator around these crypto exchanges, and thus there's really not protection against fraud or manipulation or a conflict fee.
The SEC does not have the authority from Congress to regulate crypto exchanges. He said this. Brian Armstrong came out and said it on CNBC again today, as well as CZ has been saying this as well. The SEC does not have the authority. Somewhere after FTX got caught and all the funds, all the blue team funds that were for campaigns for the election came out, that's when Gary was absolutely triggered. And it's become a political game with him to stop everybody else. Now, if you go back when Gary met with Sam Bankman-Fried and he was donating all this money to the blue team, you realize that also he was trying to get past Sam Bankman-Fried with both House and Senate, with Republicans and Democrats, a crypto bill that was all pro FTX. So FTX, how is that? Well, there is a bit license that's out there, and it was only good for companies and exchanges that had bit licenses. Well, Coinbase doesn't have a bit license, neither does Binance. Okay, so he was trying to go narrow the field down, have his exchange come in and absolutely dominate this market. Very interesting. The second he got caught, then Gary Gensler changed his tune and started going after everybody. Here is Coinbase. This is today. Coinbase CEO Armstrong says he's not shutting down staking services. The only two things that Gary Gensler, when he dropped, the two major things when he dropped the SEC versus Coinbase lawsuit yesterday was, number one, he said that they were selling securities, but they went IPO on those securities. So the SEC knew about them. And two, staking, shutting down staking. Well, the number one staking coin in the world is Ethereum. When Gary is going to go after Ethereum is a whole nother issue. It's been such a train wreck with, Ethereum staking in Ethereum 2.0. It's just, holding, you can't move staked Ethereum. You can't trade it. You had to have a whole nother coin. That's a whole nother story. But it's very funny how he doesn't have a problem with Ethereum. Both cases, Binance as well as Coinbase, he mentions ADA, Solana, he mentions all these other coins, but he never mentions Ethereum. He will not give you clarity on Ethereum ever. We're going to find out with him in emails what actually happened behind. And to finish this off, this is a fantastic little video that Coinbase came out. Actually, it's brilliant. It just gets to the heart of the point of exactly what's happening with Coinbase and the history of the SEC. Roll it. Number one, says the number of times Coinbase mentioned staking in our public S1 report that the SEC approved, 57 times. Times we met with the SEC in 2022 asking for guidance 30 times, almost 3 times a month. They kept asking for guidance. Percentage of assets we reject because they don't pass legal standards, they reject 90%. The year the test was written that the SEC uses to determine if the tokens are securities. It's so embarrassing. You could just tell that they'll just stretch any law into any and like Play-Doh, you stretch it into whatever you want it to be. This is 1946. We're obviously talking about the Howey test. Tech jobs being driven offshore. Thank you, Gary. 1 million. Countries currently establishing comprehensive rules for crypto, 33. The SEC has established for crypto comprehensive rules, 0. Guys, this is another embarrassing moment for the blue team and actually Gary Gensler. If the blue team doesn't start to see the light of crypto, get away from Janet Yellen, who just came out and says she supports Gary Gensler and the SEC, get away from all the blue team out there. What is her name? Elizabeth Warren, the anti-crypto army. I'm the anti-crypto army. Har, har. Yeah, Jesus. They're going to start losing votes. You're starting to see the crypto industry getting more and more ingrained in the US culture, and it's getting tired of having to hear this from the SEC because they're tired of having to deal with higher fees from all these banks, from the 401k companies such as BlackRock and Vanguard, keep paying them money to manage their assets. Yet, regardless if they lost money or gained money, they have to pay these companies, and that's how they make money. They fee you to death. We all know it. We need to get Gary Gensler out of there. He's going to continue to feel all the heat in the world on him, and there's several legislators out there that are putting up bills and legislation about changing the landscape, making the SEC not look into crypto regulation. They're not the regulator for crypto assets. Can't wait for that to happen, guys. I definitely thank you for joining me today. It has been a crazy day in crypto. Every day is a crazy day in crypto, but Jim Cramer made a lot of us very, very happy. Every time he opens his mouth, we see a bull run. He opened his mouth in January, said it was a debacle after Signature Bank was having problems. Crypto jumped up 30%. He's been saying, he just said it again, I'm looking for another 30% pump. Thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate it. I'll thank you in advance. You guys take care, and I will see you tomorrow.